let's talk about YouTube content creation, but not in the usual way, not the follow this formula and you'll get a million views way. I want to talk to the anxious overthinkers, the people who try to follow all the rules and get caught up in loops, spirals, analytics, and guru advice, because that's me 100%. There's this pit a lot of us can fall into, information overload. Everyone's got the right answer. Some people say one thing, other people say the exact opposite, and it all works and it's all right, or at least it seems to. Thumbnail fonts matter. No, fonts don't matter. Post 3 times a week. No, that's too much. Post only once a week, or maybe only once a month. Subscribers are everything. Subscribers are meaningless. Everyone has a system, everyone has a secret, and it can be yours if you'll sign up for their 8-week program. And if you're anything like me, you take that advice, chew on it, analyze it, then double, triple analyze it. You try to do it all right. Because if there's a right way, surely that's the way to succeed, and we're all about doing things right. And if you can't figure it out, you start to worry that you're failing before you even start. And that's where the analysis paralysis can come in, that feverish place where you want to create, but every choice feels like it has to be perfect. And so you circle around and around. You sit with your thumbnails, your fonts, titles, posting schedule. You agonize, you freeze, you think, if I just figure out this one missing piece, everything will work. And of course, there is no magical missing piece. There never was. Now, I'll be honest, I've done this. Fonts, thumbnails, posting schedules. How many times I've said I versus we in my videos. Every tiny molehill becomes a mountain in my head. But here's the thing. The content itself, the actual video, it's pretty fine. It's ready. But my mind keeps spiraling over the packaging, the performance, what the guru said, and it steals my joy. It steals momentum. It steals the thing we actually came here to do, share something real. So how do we get out of that spiral? I'm an exercise enthusiast, and at these times, I remember the best advice I ever got about exercise. The best exercise for you is the one you will do. There is no right answer. It doesn't matter if it's running, yoga, weightlifting, or dancing around your living room. If you'll do it, then that's it. That's the only rule that matters. And I think that's exactly how content creation works. The best approach is the one that works for you, not for someone else, not the guru, not for a formula in a PDF or a trending video. For you. Someone out there needs to hear what you have to say in the way that you say it. For me, that meant letting go of the idea of the perfect recipe for videos and their packaging, that posting had to follow a perfect schedule. It meant realizing that my process can't look exactly like anyone else's, and it won't. I think a lot of anxious overthinkers fall into this trap of thinking, if I just follow the rules exactly, if I just push through, which turns into forcing, it will all work perfectly. And sometimes for a time, maybe that does work. Maybe if you're naturally chill or super laid back, I'm jealous. A rigid schedule is what you need, and that's fine. But if you're an anxious overthinker, that approach usually burns you out. I have more energy than I need. I will do way too much. It turns creativity into homework, and nothing that feels like homework is fun or sustainable. Now I get it, some things just don't work. Like you decide to bake chocolate chip cookies and you declare that switching the sugar out for salt will make them equally as delicious. No, it won't. Most of us anxious overthinkers, though, aren't trying to swap sugar for salt. We're not trying to make the impossible possible, but we are usually trying to follow every piece of advice out there all at once. We consume too much information. We fret over what we don't know. We overcorrect, and if something doesn't work perfectly, we panic. It's all or nothing, success or failure, right or wrong, formula or bust. But here's the truth. There is no absolutely right way. There is no absolutely wrong way. There is only your way. To be authentic, your way is all you've got. And your way will evolve. Your way will ebb and flow. Sometimes you'll hit your groove and produce 3 videos in a week. Other days, 6 takes over editing and nope. And that's fine. That's life. That's content creation. And that's sanity. So, what does sustainable content creation look like? For an anxious overthinker like me, it looks like rhythm, not rigidity, like knowing when to push and when to pull back, like trusting your instincts about your voice, your thumbnails, your topics, like saying yes to what feels good and no to what doesn't, like letting go of the need to do things perfectly forevermore throughout all eternity. You can't plan for unchanging results until the end of time. You can't control algorithms, audience moods, or trends. You can't force inspiration or force flow. But you can honor yourself, your style, and your pace. You can create a process that brings joy instead of anxiety. And that's the magic right there. Creation without destruction. Momentum without meltdown. And I think that's why so many people burn out. They hold themselves to impossible standards. They chase formula after formula. They forget the ebb and flow of life, of creativity, of energy. They don't leave space to breathe, to adjust, and to enjoy. And it doesn't work, not sustainably, not emotionally, and not creatively. So my advice to anxious overthinkers, content creators, would-be creators, and dreamers is simple. Step into the flow, not by force, not by rigid rules, not by chasing every piece of advice that promises success. Step in gently. Listen to your gut. Let your own voice rise up. Experiment, adjust, laugh at the disasters, celebrate the small wins. Follow what feels like you and see where it takes you. If the thumbnail font Google tells you is the right one makes you cringe, change it. If your posting schedule is stressing you out, let it breathe. When I have a video that's close to being finished, I'm like a dog with a bone. I can't let it go. And holding off publishing because supposedly you're not supposed to post too often takes up my bandwidth. I need to clear that mental space out. So I say post it. I mean, come on. I'm sure YouTube has its big girl panties on and it can handle it. And maybe one of the most important things I've realized through this messy, spiraling, exhilarating, anxiety-ridden process is this. It doesn't have to be perfect. And it can't be perfect. But it can be yours. And when it is yours, in whatever form it ends up being, it's going to work. So if you've ever felt trapped by advice, schedules, formulas, by your own anxious brain, here's your permission slip. Let it go. Let the flow find you. Trust it. Let your content find its own rhythm. Write, record, post, pause, adjust, repeat, and do it in a way that feels sustainable, enjoyable, and unmistakably you.